Illinois wins! Illinois wins!
Your home for Illini hockey. WPGU 107.1.
I can't hear. It's too fast. And we're back at the Big Pond for the second period intermission. I'm Abby Callisto alongside Christian Simonetta and soon special guest Illini forward Austin Zima. And you're listening to Illini Hockey on WPGU 107.1. And Christiana, before Zima gets on, can we take a minute to talk about the World University Games in Kazakhstan that Joe Olin, Tyler Opelka, James McGing, and head coach Nick Fabrini, who will be an assistant coach, will be participating at the end of January. What do you have to say about that?
Well, first I got to excuse Austin Zima right now. He's in the bathroom currently. So he had some problems. You know, he told me last game he had some stomach issues during the game last night. So hopefully he gets that all resolved. But Abby, you asked me about the World University Games. Tyler Opelka, James McGing, Joe Olin, and head coach Nick Fabrini will be serving, representing the United States as an assistant coach. Eric Cruikshank, born Burlington, Ontario, in Toronto, is ineligible to play for the United States because of it, even though he's playing for Illinois.
Really, I did not know that. But all of these players happen to almost be on what you like to call the nuclear line, which is the first line for our viewers. What do you think that the nuclear line could work on, though? Because they aren't playing exactly. I think the second line is standing out more than the first line tonight.
And I totally agree. But then we saw in that second period, James McGing gets a goal. Eric Cruikshank gets a goal. But you mentioned that second line. They've just been doing everything right. They're playing the right way. They're playing in all three zones responsibly. You don't often see that from younger guys, especially like Robbie Ernstine or Luke Forfar. They're playing better defensively than I've seen any freshman in the past 3 years that came in, and that includes James McGing and Eric Cruikshank themselves, so it spells a lot of its success moving forward if you're head coach Nick Fabrini.
I completely agree, and I think that the chemistry in the second line is something that we should really value as well, that the other line should also work on, but the other lines are doing well, but the second line is really just standing out right now. Also, another thing the first line can work on is their anger management. I don't see the second line in the penalty box as often as I see the first line, and most specifically our leading scorer.
Yeah, and Eric Cruikshank, he led the team in penalty minutes last year. James McGing ranked second in that department. You mentioned the term anger management. I'll introduce composure, and I think they haven't had that, especially in divisional matchups. Against Lindenwood a month ago, Eric Cruikshank got a 10-minute, and we saw him get a 5-minute last game. So far, he hasn't done anything wrong besides a 2-minute interference minor that could have gone either way. So I think he's rounding out that game and trying not to end up in the penalty box, because if your leading scorer is in the sin bin for too long, it's going to make your other guys just as tired and maybe less focused.
I completely agree. But yesterday, like you said, we did have those majors. Do you think that there's going to be some more tempers flying at the end of the game today?
Well, there's a lot of talk on the ice. I was down there on ice. Stephen Cohn did a fantastic job filling in for me on play-by-play, as Austin Zima is going to join us in just a couple of seconds here. But I don't think that the tempers are going to flare too much, because it's a 5-2 game. The Illini are doing very well so far, and I think that they're going to hold off on the tempers flaring after the whistles. And we bring in our guest for this second period intermission, Austin Zima. Now, Zima, we talked so much about the Illini's composure. Eric Cruikshank took a penalty in the second period. He took a 5-minute major. You took a 10-minute misconduct last night. Are you trying to stay out of the box as an entire team moving forward, especially in a divisional play in the next 4 weeks?
Absolutely. You know, these games before break are real hard, especially when you play an opponent you don't know much about, and especially when you play a group of guys that are trying to work to the level that you're at. So, you know, it's before break, before finals, things of that nature. You just got to keep your composure, because we're trying to slowly but surely work on things that are going to benefit us after the break. But when you get put in situations like this, when you don't know your opponent, don't know how they'll react, it's about being mature, and it's about being a disciplined hockey club, and, you know, learning when to go for things and when not to. And I got caught up in it yesterday. A couple guys are getting caught up in it today, and it's just something that's not going to benefit us going forward. So we're really going to try and dial it in hone it in and kind of fine-tune everything going forward here before the break.
So there have been some standout rookies this season, especially Bobby Ernstein, Luke Forfar, and Tommy Abrams, as well as the latest debut of Ross Lippick. How does the team feel about the latest additions, and what have these rookies brought to the team that we haven't had before?
Well, those three are all real special players because they all bring something different. Forfar up and down is just a good two-way player, good on the offense and defensive side of the puck. Bobby Ernstein's like the next James McGinn, I think. He constantly seems to have the puck on a string out there. He's a great offensive playmaker, and he's kind of adapted to the center role these last couple of games, and he's great in the defensive zone, which is a surprise to us because usually, you really luck out when you get a guy with such offensive ability that can play defense too. And then Tommy Abrams, you'll never say no to a big body that can play the middle like he can. I've been playing with him lately, and it's really easy when you have a guy out there that big that takes up that much space and time from your opponent because it opens up so much more room for yourself as well.
And we talk always to everybody after the first and second period intermissions as well as the end of the game. Head coach Nick Fabrini, he's got a phrase that the Philadelphia 76ers adopted, trust the process, trust the cycle. What exactly does that mean?
It just means going with the flow and, believing in the system, believing in the things we work on. I kind of alluded to you guys in the first question you asked. It's just doing the things that we know we're good at, and that's speed, that's hard work. We have a kid with the puck that can handle the puck like I just mentioned, but that's not our team 1 through 30. We're a bunch of hard-working guys that, we rely on our skill when we need to, but, hard work creates skill as well. The harder you work, the harder you move your feet. The more will you have, the more breaks you get, and that's the process we believe in. Not luck, that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say that our hard work is what we rely on because the rest of our teams in our league, there's a lot of skill in that. We recognize that we have skill, but we also recognize where we need to kind of put our nose to the grindstone and where our hard work, our hustle, and our determination is going to keep us up there with the best in the ACHA.
Staying on the topic of rookies, how do you think that Ross Lippick is doing in net tonight?
Ross, he's great. We call him, he's not a mini gamer, he's a real gamer.
A real gamer?
He kind of has some trouble in mini games. He likes to play the puck to the wrong team and kind of turns around and the puck's in the back of his net, but he's doing awesome right now. So we call him a real gamer, not a mini gamer. But that's just another example of a rookie that, has stepped up. He's, as Fabo said, going into these games, this is a time for guys that usually don't get shifts, get starts to really make their mark, to show him that if they need to step up, they can in the second half. And he's absolutely doing it, and that just further solidifies that we have four of the best goalies in the nation, and especially from a rookie who his first two starts is standing on his head and making all the first, second, and third saves is just outstanding.
We go into the second semester. You guys are usually dubbed a second semester team. You've got a great homestand against Robert Morris, Lindenwood, Ohio. Those are some big divisional games that can help you in the CSCHL standings moving forward to the tournament in Romeoville, Illinois. How are you guys preparing for that? Because your division play has not been the best, but you were able to squeak out a great victory in regulation against number 2 Ohio.
Like you said, like you mentioned, we're a second-half team. I think that's where our playing style or the process that you guys refer to really comes in. Second half, a lot of teams start to wear out, start to kind of fade, but with us, with our skill and with our hard work that I talked about earlier, that kind of lets us keep going, keep pushing forward as opposed to, kind of disappearing, kind of watching your legs go away. But the way we play, and like you said, with those 4 homestands coming, it's a great chance for us to show that our process, our systems, what we work on, can help us succeed and compete at high levels in this league. And furthermore, it just kind of shows that our process works, and that instead of kind of going away and hiding, we're still going to be around and we're going to make a huge push.
Talking more about the future, what are some improvements that you think need to be made before we face some more divisional opponents when we get back?
First and foremost, I think it's the discipline. Especially discipline from our leaders, from our upperclassmen. We've got a lot of guys here that can contribute, a lot of juniors and seniors that can contribute, but it doesn't help when they're sitting in the box for 5 to 10 minutes like you saw last night. Guys like myself, Eric Cruikshank, James McGinn, and other guys up and down the lineup. We just need to stay disciplined because good teams like Ohio, like the Lindenwoods and Robert Morrises, those are teams that score when you give them 4 or 5 power play chances a game. Those aren't teams that are going to fold, that are going to waste opportunities. So first and foremost is definitely discipline, because without discipline, our system doesn't work. If we're working hard but working stupid, that doesn't do anything good for us. But when we're working hard and smart, that's when we really have a chance to succeed and compete.
So I'd like to finish out the intermission Intermission Report asking who do you think is going to score going into the third?
I say Joey Caprio. What, did you see that shot from the left flank going bar south? Where do you learn a shot like that?
All right, I'm not going to give Caprio too much credit because then his head's going to blow up in the locker room. I'm going to stay true to my family and to my blood, and I'm going to go with my cousin Grant Stubbe, number 25. He's been in a little bit of a cold streak, but I gave him some advice. We had a great sandwich this afternoon, so I think that's going to put some juice in his tank, and he's going to put one in the net.
I'd like to go once again with one of my fellow freshmen, Luke Forfar. He's been getting some good assists tonight, and I also think he's playing really well, so I think he's about to get one going into the third. Well, thank you both very much for your insight, and I'm Abby Callisto alongside Cristiano Simonetta and special guest Illini forward Austin Zima. Cristiano and Steven will have the call in just a few moments. This has been your Illini Hockey Intermission Report from the University of Illinois Ice Arena.